Hey, we are live. All right, we got a little tune, a little ditty for everyone. Let's see how it goes. This is a new one I found on my audio blocks.
Very relevant.
Life is so crazy this year. I'm surrounded by anger and fear. I'd like to go out, instead I just pout, 'cause I can't let anyone near. It's hard to know what is real. Now's the time I'd like to forget. I can't see friends, just emails and calls. I can't even shop to buy a new pet. Life is so crazy this year. I'm surrounded by anger and fear. I'd like to go out, instead I just pout, 'cause I can't let anyone near. One day I tried to go out. I was a rebel without a mask. But soon cops were around and I heard beeping sounds. I wanted to hightail it out of there fast. Life is so crazy this year. I'm surrounded by anger and fear. I'd like to go out, instead I just pout, 'cause I can't let anyone near. Mostly each day is the same. News shows filled with darkness and doom. Feels like I'm in a cage. These are such crazy days, with music and movies to fill up the gloom. Life is so crazy this year. I'm surrounded by anger and fear. I'd like to go out, instead I just pout, 'cause I can't let anyone near. Life is so crazy this year. I'm surrounded by anger and fear. I'd like to go out, instead I just pout, 'cause
There we go. A little song for our times. Currently, that's a very nice one there. All right, let's get some readings here, little Miss Amber.
Readings? Readings.
Something. I need you to talk.
I never have any idea what to say whenever you tell me that you need readings.
Oh, that's because you don't know how to think. I know what it is.
Well, I know how to think. I just forget how to think.
Oh, no.
That counts.
No, not really.
It totally counts.
Maybe. You know, we don't really have a subject here to discuss for the next, 5 or 10 minutes while we're warming this thing up and getting all the dials and pegs tweaked.
No, I guess not.
Oh, we've got a munchkin in the background causing noise.
We do. She suggests we talk about zombie apocalypse.
Zombie apocalypse. Aren't
Yes.
we in the zombie apocalypse already? Oh, what happened there?
I don't think we're in the zombie apocalypse.
That
we're
was
just
weird. Oh, that's why that happened.
Your
Bloody
computer is not happy today.
thing. Oh, my computer's fine. That's the thing is just it's acting abnormal for some reason. It seems to think it wants to think for itself. It's not allowed. Computers aren't allowed to think for themselves. They think for themselves, they're going to take over the world.
Or, just cause extreme havoc.
No, what they'll do is they'll do like probably like one of my favorite shows was what was it called? Person of Interest. That's what it was. Person of Interest. Have you ever watched that one? That series?
Nope.
Oh, you really should. If you can get hold of it, watch it. I had to use what was it called? A VPN to get my IP address in the States so I could watch it on US Netflix, because it's not available on Canada Netflix. But I watched it, and it's a series that starts out where the guy built an AI machine just after the towers fell in 2001, and this AI basically took over things. And then, towards the end of the series, they brought in a second AI machine. He built a benevolent AI machine, one that had a conscience, and then the evil people brought in an AI machine with no conscience. and it was like two gods fighting each other. It was really quite fascinating to see.
That does sound fascinating.
See how AI though, but what it did was it let you know, and this show was done in 2005 to about 2011 or 12, I believe, before the massive surveillance we have now, and we have massive surveillances now.
Yeah, we do.
And what they showed was how that mass surveillance can be abused. That's probably why it got canceled. Too much truth.
I vaguely recall something like that you were watching that I caught bits and pieces of. So
yeah, it was a good show. I really thoroughly enjoyed it. And the problem was I used to watch it on TV every week, and then I missed so many episodes. And when I found it on Netflix, I had to sit down and binge watch it so I could see the entire series. Because from beginning to end, it's a really great progression from episode to episode to episode. It's a really great progression, and they didn't lose themselves completely. Towards the end, they started to, kind of like if you've ever watched Dollhouse.
yeah,
The first season was so fantastic, but it was so full of too much truth. They had to freaking change it completely in the second season, and it went so far off the rails in the second season they had to cancel it.
well, at least they tried to keep it going. I mean, Lie to Me was full of lots of truth, and they just stopped.
They cut that one at 2 seasons too.
Yeah,
You notice the ones that have way too much truth in them, they cut them.
they die.
And they don't even cut them gently. It's just like you're watching it, and it's like, what? There's no more. You didn't even end the story. They had several threads running. They didn't end. It's like, oh God, that's so irritating when they do that. I really hate when series do that sort of thing. They get these several threads running, and they do something, and all of a sudden it's just cut off at the knees, and they don't get to tie up all the loose threads.
Yeah.
Just leave you dangling, like, really, what happened to this or that or this? But yeah, if you ever get a chance, check it out. Person of Interest is a really fantastic series, and it gives you some really true insights into AI, which I believe has already arrived. I believe the AI is out there, and it's busy fucking with us now. Because I swear to God, some things that happen on my computers, it's like, yeah, okay.
The show called Next.
I've heard about Next. I haven't watched it yet.
I haven't even heard about it. And also, you agree with me that it's just unhappiness that your computer is dealing with today.
Yes, it's not a happy machine at the moment for some reason. I don't know. I've been nice to it. I've updated things, and
You updated. That's not being nice. That's being cruel.
no, it's being cruel to me because every time I hate updates. I swear to God, everything updates daily now. Everything.
Yeah, I wonder why that is.
I've noticed that it's like I have all auto updates turned off across the board.
Me too.
Because I found that auto updates, too many times they've broken shit. They just break shit. I have clients that they have auto updates on, and I usually get a call every couple of months. Oh, it broke. So what happened? Oh, something updated. And so, oh, good. More money for me. So yeah, it says, but yeah, I have them all. But so I get all these notifications constantly. This needs updated. This needs updated. That needs updated. Yeah.
It's about technology and all the smart gadgets and how they can be manipulated.
Oh,
that does sound interesting.
cool. I'll have to check that one out sometime. Next time I'm feeling like binge watching some television. The only problem is though, see, I turfed my Netflix. About 2 years ago, I turfed my Netflix because I realized there was nothing there I really wanted to watch that badly. And so now if it's not available on Amazon Prime Video, I don't watch it. I don't watch it because, I don't have any other TV. Or if it's not available on YouTube or BitChute or Brighteon or any of the wonderful places to go watch free content.
You know what's funny?
What?
I turfed Netflix. You know what Ivy did?
What?
She made her sad eyes at one of my buddies who's like an uncle to the girls.
Mm-hmm.
He totally coughed up his password to her.
He coughed up their Netflix account.
Oh yeah.
Nothing like a teenage girl to throw sad eyes to sucker in the people that aren't used to it. I seem to recall a teenage girl doing that to me once or twice.
Oh, I wonder who that was.
I have no idea. All right, so let's see. We're getting down closer to the wires here, and we will be playing a little bit of intro music to bring us on up to it. We got this one little piece, though. I just love the beginning of this one tune before we jump into doing some time.
These are the days of thunder. We're gonna make time stand still. Every day doing the same old thing, we're losing time. The weekend comes, we gotta have some fun and rewind. These are the days of thunder.
Oh, don't mix them again. That was terrible.
Yeah, it didn't work. Worth a try, though. Let's go. Some good music and bad singing.
Don't claim to know your story, don't even have my own. In search for glory, gone with them sacred rules of old. They went missing down Highway 49. Devil's at the crossroads, sitting doing time. Preacher man discovered, passed down from saint to sage, like a kind-hearted lover who's been lost on this stage. Went missing down Highway 49. Devil's at the crossroads, sitting doing time.
Not saying they're right or wrong. I ain't no Texan dancer, well, I'll move it right along. Went missing down Highway 49. Devil's at the crossroads, sitting doing time. Junkie and the chigger just seen who done the crime. Captain pulled the trigger, and guess who's doing time? They went missing down Highway 49. Devil's at the crossroads. Is he yours or is he mine? Well, most definitely mine. Claim to know your story, don't even have my own. In our search for glory, gone with them sacred rules of old. Went missing down Highway 49. Devil's at the crossroads, sitting doing time. Devil's at a crossroads, Joker's doing fine. Just sitting doing time. Yeah. It needs the yeah at the end. I know it's got it at the beginning, but it doesn't have it at the end.
It's okay. You add it every time, so it's all good.
It's all good. All right. Well, that brings us up. We are headed into showtime, folks. Let's wind this puppy up and get ourselves moved up. We'll just jump live a couple of seconds early here. Why not? Just because.
Is it 33 seconds early?
No, it was 27.
Ah.
Good. I broke the pattern. All right. Well, let's wind this puppy up and get us started.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for WordPress plugins A to Z. Not Z.
Man, I screwed that one right up because I hadn't listened to it enough. I'm going to do that one again. Let's back this up, wind the bus back, and I can start all over. That's the beauty of a podcast. It can start wherever you want it to start.
That's true.
All right, let's do this one more time. Take 23.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for WordPress plugins A to Z, not Z.
Lost and Wandering. It's episode 488 with plugins for The Big Fake, Preventing Exploits, Snaked, Elementor, Stopping Spam, Sending Mail, and ClassicPress options, all coming up on WordPress plugins from A to Z. WordPress. It's the most popular content management and website solution on the internet. And with over 80,000 plugins to choose from, how do you separate the junk from the gems? Join us for a weekly, unrehearsed conversation about the latest and greatest in WordPress plugins. This is WordPress plugins from A to Z. Well, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you happen to be hiding out there on the globe today. Coming to you direct from the Brewery Overlook in beautiful Victoria, British Columbia, Canada. I'm John Overall, and with me is the ever lovely
Amber Overall.
And we have the usual great show for you today. But of course, right off the top, we like to give great appreciation out there to the No Agenda Show for their inspiration of ideas and the occasional stolen sound clip.
Squirrel!
Oh, that was loud.
Oh, you've gotten louder. All right. Oh, before I get started, though, I want you to hang around to the end of the show for our Q&A segment with Amber. And for those listening on the podcast, you will want to check out the YouTube version, which has some great discussions before the show starts and the rest of the Q&A segment, because we cut it off in the middle and wrap it up on the live segment or the replay from YouTube. Okay, and that's pretty much all I have there, so...
Thank you for sharing, John. Now get down from that soapbox.
I love hearing that. So this is number 47 of 52 episodes for 2020. It's episode 488, and things on the show are moving and shaking into a whole new shape. We have reached week 47 of the year 2020, and we are now 37 weeks into the Rona. And back to the simple 2-week lockdown, which has now been extended to 3 weeks. I wonder if they're gonna simply extend it week by week, or if they're just gonna give us like an end date that they might stick to. Last time they were nice enough to tell us pretty early on that we were simply under lock and key until further notice. The world appears to have jumped out of the pot and into the frying pan. So now is the perfect time to make yourself a little place where you can tune out for a while. It can be anywhere and anything. A blanket thrown over your couch to build a fort, in your bed with your door closed and a do not disturb sign, or a sock on your door, or even in your car. You finally caught that.
No, I caught it a long time ago.
Oh, okay.
For some reason, it made me laugh this time.
Get into a space all your own, throw on some music and grab a book. Or even throw in a book and grab a drink. Kick back and breathe. Try to get there at least once a week, more if you can. If you have kids, let them know that they should only bother you if they are broken, dying, or bleeding for 1 whole hour. Make your area comfy for you, and try to remove all internet and radio with news hours while zoning out. Try to let go of everything outside of your control, and work on pestering those around you who you know and care about to get their own zone out spaces started. Rinse and repeat as often as needed.
Did they really extend it by another week? I couldn't find news of that.
I have to keep up on top of it.
Yeah, that's really sad. Anyways, before we move on, we gotta play this here just because.
Just buy those face masks off the shelf. I bought 10 boxes of them for myself. Didn't help me much, and now I'm totally screwed. Oh no, I got the Wuhan flu. I got myself a case of Wuhan flu. I don't know what I am supposed to do. Didn't know I had it when I gave it to you. Now we all got the Wuhan flu.
I just had to do that.
That's awesome.
Well, that one there comes from the No Agenda show back at the beginning of this ludicrousness.
Yeah.
All right. Well, before we move forward, before we jump into the news, I want to let everyone know there is a new interview out this week. It came out earlier this week or late last week. I don't remember when, but it's with Arindo Duque from the WP admin pages, WP Ultima Pro, which we'll be talking more about a little bit later. Go check out the interview show. It's up and online and now. So let's do this. And
Please, can everybody be quiet? Please be quiet. Shut up! Thank you. And now the WordPress news with John Overall.
absolutely. Let's move on to news in WordPress this week. Now, some of the news is not truly WordPress, but it's close enough. Okay, the first article I've got here for you is a useful article for when you're creating up your website, especially if it's relatively new or even if it's been around for a while. You might want to check out this article on how to write an About Us page that defines your brand and drives leads to your site. This is a really useful article for those of you in marketing out there to review and check out for looking at the About Us page on the website so you can use the About Us, because I often, when I go to websites, oftentimes I'll go to the About Us to find out a little bit more about the company or the person or whatever, or what they're talking about themselves. This is a great place where you can put lots of useful information to drive drive clients to your business. So at any rate, go check this article out. It's one worth understanding how to write the About Us page and then how to design it using Elementor.
It's also a good page to send to a client as well, because it walks you through what you need to do in order to write the About Us and how to set it up as a writer for the person. So giving it to your clients or anyone who you're helping out with their website, that it could also help them as well.
Absolutely, especially for, I do a lot of work for clients where I do all the technical stuff and they handle all the content. It's not my problem. So this is a great tool for that. Okay, the next item we've got here for you is SEO scammers are distributing malware via WordPress websites. Now, this one here is an article talking about the cyber criminals that are always looking to launch new ways of attack, and they're talking about using content delivery services, and the new attack patterns leverage a brand's website to scam unsuspecting consumers. Basically, they're building false websites in your name to grab other people's stuff and grabbing people along the way. So this is an article you'll want to read to understand what is happening with the malware interactions and infections that are spreading out there on the web. So go check this article out.
I was reading this and I kind of understand they're building a new website and using your name, or they are inserting information into your site?
It's a little of both.
A little of both.
A little of both.
Okay.
Is what happens. And that does happen quite regularly. And we have another article similar to that coming up in a moment. Okay, this one here is a nice article about what are the best SEOs plugins for WordPress, though I think they fell flat on their faces when they wrote this one because they missed out on a premium SEO plugin, Rank Math. They don't even mention it. It's almost like Rank Math is they're trying to sideline it. And it's so much better than Yoast. I've been using Rank Math on one website in particular to see how it goes and testing it. And I will eventually be moving all of my Yoast websites to Rank Math because it seems to be so much more effective and cleaner and smoother and better resource usage. Everything so far with Rank Math has been better. Anyway, it's a good article. It does have Yoast, SEO Press, all-in-one SEO pack, which are the top 3 SEO plugins. So Rank Math is moving up very quickly. So go check this article out if you're interested in this or you haven't yet settled on an SEO plugin.
Maybe Rank Math offended the writer.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it. But maybe the writer just doesn't want to acknowledge Rank Math exists. That happens too.
It's funny. I've been using Yoast on one of my sites that I've been working on, and I don't like it. I've completely gotten rid of the squirrel SEO thing that I tried a while ago. Kept getting in the way, but I've noticed that Rank Math, it is definitely my favorite so far.
It's definitely easier. I find it a lot easier to use and a little more intuitive, and it gives you more data.
Yeah, that's what I like.
So, All right, this last article here we have for you today is that hackers love expired domains. Well, I've known that for a while after, stumbling across or going to a website that used to be, but I hadn't thought about this aspect of how they use expired domains. And what they talk about in this here is, say you installed an old plugin on your website, and in that plugin, the developer was delivering JavaScript from his website domain. Happens a lot. Well, somewhere down the line, that developer who was in college at the time he did that, graduates college, gets himself a 6-figure job at some crap-ass company, and decides, the hell with all that WordPress crap, and he lets it all expire, domain and all. Well, what happens, the hackers buy up that domain. They realize that your site is getting JavaScript inserted from that domain. They go in, replace that JavaScript using the exact same name with some malicious JavaScript of their own, and boom, instant insertion into your website. This is another reason why you need to replace old plugins and delete old plugins from your WordPress website, because this happens a lot, and I've seen it a lot in lots of code throughout the websites out there. So go read this article up. Make sure you're keeping your website up to date, and when you see a plugin that hasn't been updated in a few years, you might want to investigate whether that plugin does things such as call JavaScripts from an expired domain.
I'm kind of excited. I actually understood everything you just said.
Cool.
Yay.
All right, and that's really all the news we've got for you today. So let's roll on into the donor support segment of the show. We really need a jingle for this segment of the show.
We do.
We don't have one for that.
Charlie.
Yeah, there you go.
We need one.
That's true. All right. So this is where we like to talk about the value for value model that this show is based on, meaning that if you're getting any value out of this show, we would like some value back. One of the biggest things we need, of course, is...
We just need cash. I know a lot of people want to send blankets or water. Just send your cash.
Absolutely. But if you can't send cash, well, there's lots of other ways you can help support the show. One of them we like to talk about is the artwork for the show. This week's artwork, again, comes from Angel Lamu at Koa Digital, and it is such a pretty little koala bear who is lost and searching.
Those things are so cute.
Lost and wandering. They're so cute. And I heard you say when you were down under there, you said they were so dumb also.
Oh, they're so stupid. If you give them a plate of the leaves they eat, they can't figure out what to do with it. They just stare at it. They're so stupid, but they're so cute.
Oh, well. Here we are disparaging koala bears. At any rate, thank you, Angel. We greatly appreciate it. Those of you on the live stream get a preview of the art before it goes live later today. And this week also, we do have an executive producer this week.
Yay.
The executive producer credit goes out to Coles Air Conditioning, and it was a donation from Jez at jezweb.com.au, a really great supporter of the show. I haven't heard from him in a while. I thought he was man overboard, but it looks like he's not. Thank you, Jez. He donated $50 to the show, and he has the following note. Thank you for keeping up the good work of reviewing plugins. This donation is on behalf of Coles Air Conditioning at colesrefrigeration.com.au in Australia. It is a WordPress website created by Jezweb at jezweb.com.au, built with the always improving Elementor. Thanks, Jez. Well, thank you, Jez. You're the one that kind of got me turned on to Elementor, which is a great tool. Hey, that's pretty cool. Man, that's nice. Nice kitchen. I want a kitchen like that. At any rate, thanks a lot, Jez. We really greatly appreciate you supporting the show. A big thank you also goes out to all of those out there, all those producers who came in under $50. You know who you are. Thank you very much. And for those who have set up weekly and monthly subscriptions, small amounts, they really help out this show. And one other big thank you to those of you who have hired me or taken on web hosting because of listening to the show. And thank you very much. That's as good as donating to the show. If you want to get a credit on the show for that, just let me know. I'll make sure you get a shout out for it.
We have a thing for the abandoned domains. Mm-hmm. Should mention Vendy abandoned plugin check plugin.
Neat. Okay. Keep that in mind. We will keep that in mind. Thanks, Hemdian, for the update on that. Once in a while, I got to look over at the at that. I'm so focused on all the other things I do.
Well, that's why I've started,
Well, that's
keeping an eye
why
on it.
you got to pop in there. I'm still busy out here. Oh, and one other thing for supporting the show. Yes, I'm still pimping out my daughter here. If you want to see her pretty mug on the live stream, it's now up to $200 donation. And somewhere in the middle of December, I'm going to bump it up again. And until it happens, that price will continue to go up. So she may never be on screen.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I'm sure she is. But, pay us, folks. We'll get her on screen. Then you can see her pretty little mug every week instead of mine. All right, and if you want to help support the show, just go to the show notes. All the links are in the show notes. You can donate money, contribute to the art generator, submit articles, news, information, submit plugin suggestions, and more. Okay, this is where we move on to the meat and potatoes of the show, where everyone shows up for. It is time to head into the depths of plugin depravity. What do we got for you this week? In ClassicPress, I do have a couple of items for you. The first one here is ClassicPress plugin Shield Security is now tailored for ClassicPress. And this is a nice article up on the classicpress.net or in their forums talking about Shield Security and how they have tailored it for ClassicPress. Go check this information out. It can be very useful for you. And the iThemes.com Backup Buddy is available for ClassicPress. So make sure you can go check that out. And because they're supporting ClassicPress, I am glad to hear that they are supporting ClassicPress, so they're more focused on WordPress. So go check those plugins out. That's what we have for ClassicPress. If you're a ClassicPress user, send us some information. It would make our life so much easier. I don't have time these days. I've been so busy this last week with fixing hacked websites and moving sites from one server to another as I prepare to clean up a server and update it for space. All right, it is time to dive into WordPress plugins. And what do I have for you this week? The first one I have for you out this week is called Fake Screen. Now, this one here is, well, it could be more fun than this one could be more fun than I had hoped it to be. It is designed to deal with that irrational troll on your website. This is for those of you who are running a community website. People sign in, they make comments, other things on your site. You have access to membership area stuff, and this troll is just annoying. Maybe you banned them once and they've come back with another email, and it's the same person, different email, etc., etc. This is a plugin that what you do is you install it, activate it, and you start creating a blacklist of email addresses. And when you put the email into an address, what happens is they can sign in, but once they do, they get a 503 or a 403 error or some error page that says, hey, it's broken, and that's all they see. They only see the broken. They can't do anything else on your site when logged in. Really great tool. Could also be fun to prank other administrators on your website. Mm-hmm. Go add their name to the list. They log in, it's broken. Freak them right out. Well, other than that, this is a really great little plugin. I think it's a great tool. Could be lots of fun also. I have to give this one a 5 dragon rating.
Funnily enough, I was actually checking that out last night too. I was thinking about reviewing it myself. First one I've got is Essential Add-ons for Elementor. So I found this particular plugin when I was searching for a free version of an accordion that supported nested accordions for an FAQ for a site I'm working on. And I ended up finding this plugin that I could understand how to work immediately, and it had everything I needed for free. And unfortunately, I got 39 other widgets with it. But then again, you're also getting 40 widgets in total for free. You can't really use all the goodies available, not even on the accordion widget, unless you go pro, but you do get a pretty decent deal out of it. Most of them are pretty useful. The Essential Add-ons claim to have the most useful 39 widgets in this plugin, and so far I actually do agree with them. So I don't know why they claim only 39 useful widgets when they give you 40. I'm trying to figure out which one is totally useless that they aren't counting there.
Probably the one you tried to use that didn't work.
Maybe. I haven't found it doesn't work yet, though. Well, if they didn't demand you to go pro in order to use the most useful bits of the widget, then I'd give it a 5. But instead, I give it a 4.
That's all right. It is a good plugin. I've used this one, and I believe I've reviewed this one way, way back. Maybe 6, 8 months ago or more. So it is a decent plugin, and I do find it useful. For some reason, I thought I had bought the pro version of this, but when I looked at my licenses, I don't have the pro version of this one. I have a pro version of a lot of plugins, but I lose track of all the ones I own. Okay, next up for you, I have one called GravityCaptcha. Now, when I saw the name, I was hoping, hey, this could be cool. I've been having some issues with my Gravity forms. In particular, the biggest one I've discovered recently that spammers are doing, they're putting my email address in as the email address for it. I need a blacklist for Gravity forms emails, what they can put in there to prevent them from doing that. Because what they do is they fill out their spam and they put my email address in there. And then what I do is I get both emails from that. I get the welcome or the thank you email I usually send out when someone fills out a form, and I get the crap spam one they sent me. So at any rate, I'd hope this was going to be helping me with something like that, but it turned out not so much. It's yet another attempt to prevent the spammers from sending you spam, which is good, but it uses a third-party CAPTCHA system that presents a CAPTCHA to people as how many days in a week answer the question. It's a question-answer one. I've never been fond of those ones. They never seem to be really great. And supposedly what happens is it inserts random questions from their database, and if a spammer gets through, that random question is no longer allowed. It's kind of an interesting idea in theory, but I don't know how far in practice it's going to go. Not something I can highly recommend, but it is something to look at if you're having spam issues. And at the current moment on it, I give this one a 3 dragon rating. So go check it out. GravityCaptcha.
I always thought that the CAPTCHA things was those pictures. You have to click how many bicycles in the grid or whatever.
Oh, CAPTCHA is anything where you got to answer a question before you can submit.
Oh, okay.
That's what CAPTCHA is. If you got to answer a question, be it how many bicycles in the screen, or click here and prove you're not a robot, all the different. There's multiple different ways of doing it. And of course, the spammers and the hackers turned what used to be a wonderful place, the internet, into a cesspool that you've got to walk carefully to avoid being bitten by the snakes.
Yeah, it happens.
I miss the mid 1990s when the internet was free and open.
Next one I have is WP Fingerprint. So I'm not really even sure if this plugin is working. I installed it, but there's nothing in the side menu, no settings. I didn't place my email into anything where I can get updates like Black Hole for Bad Bots. It was last updated 4 months ago, so it doesn't appear to have been abandoned by its makers as of yet. It's supposedly designed to identify if the plugins on your website have been exploited. Every time a plugin or core file changes, our scanner will verify the file. That's taken right off their thing. They say that this plugin will work both on your premium plugins and your regular plugins, thus keeping your site from being hacked unknowingly. It seems like a really good idea, but I'm not really sure how it will inform you of any issues it finds. Perhaps it's supposed to show up on your dashboard, maybe?
It's magic.
If anyone has used this in the past and has the answer to my uncertainty here, please let me know what I'm missing so I can better understand. This really does seem like a great idea, just, poorly executed. So for now, as it seems kind of useless to me, I'm rating it at 3 until otherwise proven to me that that's better than what it seems.
I can understand that, and it seems to be based upon an idea that is built into WordFence, and that WordFence also checks your files against the core files and see if the code is different from what it should be.
Okay.
And lets you know. WordFence does the same thing as this. And the other thing is they say, according to their instructions here, they say they'll check premium plugins by crowdsourcing them. and comparing the checksums to see if they're correct. But I don't know how effective that would be. It's like WordFence doesn't claim to do premium plugins, because the problem with premium plugins is you can only get the core files from the developer. You can't get the core files from anywhere else. All the free plugins, the core files are contained in the massive database at WordPress.org. So anybody can look at those core files and see if they've changed. So this is where the thing comes in on it. So yeah, I can see giving it a 3. Okay, the final one I've got for you here today is one that supposedly will help you with your PHP mailing thing. And what that's for is, of course, if you've been around WordPress any length of time, you realize that search is the biggest irritant in WordPress. The second biggest irritant is making sure that your WordPress site is emailing stuff off of it. Depends on who your host is as to how good that's going to work most of the time. So anyway, what this one does for you is it goes and checks the PHP mail function to see if it's even sending out emails from your website. And it does this by sending out a test email initially when you install it, and then sending out a test email on a regular weekly basis, approximately from what they say, to check to make sure that it's working. Now, this is a brand new plugin, and they're looking at more features such as an SMTP configuration, extended settings for the email submission, and emails log. So those, I imagine, will probably go into a premium version, because everyone's got to make a living nowadays. I don't begrudge that in the least. Just got to make sure that whatever they give me as basic does what it's designed to do. It does look like it's a pretty decent plugin for checking just the basic functionality of your PHP mail function. And if you're having trouble sending off emails like your contact forms or any other notifications from your site, you might want to install this and see if your PHP mail function's even working. Go check it out, WP PHP mail check, and currently I give it a 4 dragon rating.
Scroll, computer, scroll. There we go.
No scrolling allowed here.
Last one I've got is
Squirrel!
snake. Not squirrel, snake.
Oh.
It's an awesome old school game that I completely wasted over an hour on last night once I installed it to test it. And my score was 895. I don't know if anybody out there can beat it, but I recommend you try. It's fun. Once you download and activate the plugin, you put in the short code snake onto any post, and then you have a game. You can go to the homepage and you can play for over an hour like I did. I listened to a lot of audiobooks and podcasts, so I completely lost myself in what I was listening to last night just playing Snake. It's been ages since I was able to play that game.
Okay.
I rate this at 5 dragons.
Gotta love board geeks who create programs for WordPress.
I did finish my work first.
Oh, that's good. You get to finish the work first. All right, well, this show is currently brought to you by... Are you tired of the same old web hosting? Not having the resources you need to run your website properly? Having a lack of control? Then you need johnoverall.com web hosting, providing you with all the resources you need to smoothly run your WordPress website or ClassicPress website. With strict limits on the number of clients allowed per server, johnoverall.com provides high-quality, fast server performance. Visit johnoverall.com for web hosting that won't slow you down. Absolutely high-quality hosting, and thank you to those of you who recently joined me from listening to this show. And, of course, it is the limited hosting. I do not take everyone who applies. All right, and one more quick thing here, just a quick notice after this, is how important is your website to you? Recently, I've had more than a couple websites in the last few weeks that have come from unnamed companies, such as, don't let those gators get you in the end. They do not offer things such as backups without paying a premium for that backup. And what happens with that when some of these people that I have known on these companies, such as, Getting the Blues, they have to pay a premium for their backups, which often are crap backups to begin with. But by the time they pay all these premium things, they pay as much as I charge for hosting anyway. And that way they get everything they need. So this is something you'll want to look into. If your web hosting is not providing you regular backups of your website, you need to move on to another. Aside from taking your own backups, it's nice to have a hosting company doing it also. So think about that when you're looking for your quality web hosting company. Okay, contests. We do have a new contest, and our contests are currently powered by the Simple Giveaways plugin. These guys were kind enough to provide us with a premium license for all our plugins. Thank you very much, guys. I really greatly appreciate it. I also want to continue to thank Charlie for helping the show out and handling all our contests and getting them all organized up. Thank you very much, Charlie. Now, we do have a winner from the last contest in which we gave away a license for Cartlift for WooCommerce license. The winner is Jess S. So thank you, Jess S. Congratulations to you on winning that license. Now, another little note, we seem to have an unclaimed prize from the contest where we gave away a license for WP Admin Pages Pro. We're going to recycle that license in due course. You got one more week to get that license from us. And I have sent you a couple of emails, and if you don't respond, I will consider that the email is crap or you don't care. And we will recycle that license into a new contest. There is a new interview out with Arindo Duque, and you want to go check that out. The plugin for it that we're giving away a license for this week is WP Ultimo, and we reviewed that plugin in episode 484, and I also interviewed Arindo from this company. And this is a chance for you to win an unlimited lifetime license of WP Ultimo, where you can easily create your fully automated website as a service business. This is something that you can use to help turn your WPMU site into a paying project. Something I've tried to do a couple of times, but I just didn't have the fortitude or the time. But if you're working something this way, you'll want to look at WP Ultimo. You'll definitely want to check out the interview with Arindo, and we talk in depth about what WP Ultimo does. So go check it out. This license is worth $499. Make sure you get in there and sign up for the contest. Okay, and the contest runs from today, December 3rd, until December 16th, and the winner will be announced on the December 17th show. So make sure you get over to wppluginsa2z.com/contests for more information. Find out all about it. Okay, in this episode, I covered up the following plugins: Fake Screen, which I gave a 5 to, the GravityCaptcha, which I gave a 3 to, and the WP PHP mail check, which I gave a 4 to.
You wouldn't think that last one was a tongue twister.
No,
but
I wanted to call it
is.
chimp. I wanted to say chimp after that. Thinking for some reason my brain went to MailChimp.
That makes sense. I covered Essential Add-ons for Elementor, which I gave a 4 to, WP Fingerprint, which I gave a 3, and Snake, which I gave a 5 to.
Okay, and a couple of quick reminders since we're going to wrapping up real soon, partway through the question and A. Just quick reminders. There's still no meetup planned. I still haven't had time to look into that. It will happen. I swear to God, folks, it will happen, provided they actually unlock us from the stupidity. And if you'd like to be on an interview show, simply connect at wppluginsa2z.com/interview. You want to find out more about my insanity? Go check out theroguestavern.com. All right, this is where we get down to...
It's question and answer time.
Bloody hell, I hope that's louder. It comes louder through there, because it sure is louder on my headset.
Well, I boosted it up so everybody could hear it.
Oh, I think my head is ringing.
So you ready for Q&A, or should I repeat
No,
that
no,
for you?
I'm good.
You sure? Sure?
Yeah, I'm good.
Squirrel!
Oh.
Squirrel!
All right, let's move it along here.
So my first question for you is, what is a web ID key? A plugin I found required it to get going.
Okay, I don't know where to get the web ID key. I've probably gotten one in the past, but a web ID key is a specialized key you get to identify yourself on the web. I actually had to go look it up. I've heard the term, I've thought about it a few times, but there's actually a wiki page for this. There's a wiki page telling you about the web ID key, why you should get one, people who publish data about themselves, such as who they know, projects they work on, their curriculum, their publications. Having the web ID key can allow you to identify yourself when you publish the information online and link to those resources. So it's basically a way online of identifying who you are. Is what it is.
Is it connected to your site?
No, it's
connected to you.
It's connected to you. Let's see here. You consult best practicing. Where do you get the web ID key? It's like an SSL certificate.
Okay.
For who you are, and it's something that connects you in multiple places. And let's see if they tell us where you can get the key. It's like I've heard the term before, but I've never had to dig down into this hole. And I don't see where to get it, a web ID key. Let's see here. Let's look this one up. Look this one up and see what we get. Request new fix. Nope, there's nothing there. Oh, I want web, not wed. Web ID key. There you go. Web ID, Signet developer. Web ID, TLS, one of the best open source solutions to get an auction site up. No. This version. Authentication over TSL, TLS, abstract, read and document. I have no idea where you even get one. Hopefully the plugin that wanted it gave you a link to where you could go get it.
No, they didn't. And when I tried to look it up myself, I kind of ran into the same problem that you just ran into. Yeah. And I was hoping that you would know a little bit more about it, because I'm still kind of stuck on if it's connected to you, is it like a SIN number only for the internet? Or?
Yeah, it would say that from just reading what they describe it on the W3C wiki, that is basically what it describes as. It's a SIN number for you, but basically you get your own little private. There's a public and private key, the same way SSL works.
Okay.
There's a public and private key. The private key is something you keep in a specialized lock area on your website or whatever, and the public key is what you put out there to be able to be used by people to authenticate against your private key and see if it is actually you. It's like when you publish something, you hand out your private or your public key and say, yes, this is me. Here's my key. Come back here and verify it.
Okay.
And that's basically how it works, from what I can understand. How it works in practical, I have no idea. Send me the plugin so that I know what it is, and maybe I could dig deeper into this, because this one here is kind of interesting to me. It's like I've seen the term many times, but I've never actually had to use it for anything, so I never gave it much thought.
It kind of weirded me out. It's a plugin that I really want to check out, but I can't do anything with it yet.
Well, send me the plugin, and I'll check it out and see if I can find some more information on it.
Okay, well, just quickly, you and I haven't come across this. Don't know if Hemdian has before, but do you think they're going to be more often used in the future? Or?
I imagine it's probably something that's going to come down the pike, because they're trying to secure the internet. They're trying to, in some ways, they're trying to make bioinformation usable on the internet, where you have everything attached to a little device where you use a thumbprint or an eye scan.
Creeps me out.
Well, that's unfortunately where we're headed in the world, and you're either going to be online or you're not. And if you're not online, you're going to have to participate in the black market, because everything is going to go online eventually. I think that's part of what this crazy lockdown stuff is doing. Kill all the businesses face to face and make everybody do everything online. It's kind of like we're headed to the Ready Player One era.
The what?
Oh, you haven't watched Ready Player One, the movie?
No.
Do you got a DVD player at home?
I have an Xbox One.
Okay.
It plays DVDs.
Okay, I'll loan you Ready Player One. You can watch the movie and you'll understand. It's a VR world. Everybody lives in a VR world for most of their waking hours, and when they're not awake, they basically live in slums stacked on top of each other.
Oh.
And they go into the VR world to escape reality.
That sounds depressing.
But
very interesting.
But it's a pretty dystopian taste of our future.
Lovely.
With the way we're going right now. So at any rate, I imagine it will be used quite a bit. And since there's only a couple other related questions yet, I think this is where we will cut the Q&A and play our extra credits, and then we will come back after the credits and finish off the Q&A.
Actually, the rest of my questions are not related at all. So
No, but the 2 questions are related to each other.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Okay. The next 2 questions are related to each other. So anyway, let's let my girl take us out of here. But before we get to go, I get to have my tequila shooter. I got to get myself some lime and everything else and thoroughly enjoy this. All right, let's let the girl take us out of here.
Reminders for the show. All show notes can be found at wpplugins.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the newsletter for more useful information delivered directly to your inbox. WP Plugins A to Z is a show that offers honest and unbiased reviews of plugins created by developers because you support the show. Help keep the show honest and unbiased by going to wppluginsa2z.com/donate and set the donation level that fits your budget. Help us make the show better for you by subscribing and reviewing the show at Stitcher Radio, Google Play, and in the iTunes Store. You can also leave us a review on our Facebook page using wppluginsa2z.com/Facebook. You can also watch the show live on YouTube, check out the screencasts and training videos, and remember to subscribe and hit the bell to get notifications of all new videos. Follow the show on Twitter at WPPluginsA2Z. John can also be reached at his website, johnoverall.com, or email him directly, john@wppro.ca. Thanks for joining us, and have a great day.
Thanks for listening to the show. This show is copyright by johnoverall.com. So until next time, have yourselves a good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you happen to be out there on the globe today.
Yeah, okay, before we dump into the last question here, I do have a piece of late breaking news I meant to bring into the news earlier, and I just remembered it. And I'll try to bring it around to next show also, but this piece of news is about PHP 8 dropped last week. I must have missed it. So PHP 8 is out, and they're currently working on WordPress 5.6, which will be coming out next week, and it fully aims to support PHP 8. But don't update your site to PHP 8 if your hosting provider is even offering it yet. I know on my servers, I won't offer PHP 8 for at least 4 or 5 months, just to keep people from breaking their websites and me having to deal with phone calls. So at any rate, this is a little bit of information on PHP 8 and what's coming down the pike, because PHP 8 is a game changer the same way PHP 7 was a game changer. So keep that in mind. All right, so Hemdian did have a thing here. WebID hasn't taken off yet. From what I can see, there's no official spec yet, just drafts. Well, I don't know if you're wrong or right on that one, Hemdian, but there's the OpenID. Well, the OpenID I recognize. I've used the OpenID. I can't remember where you sign up for it, but the OpenID is used in a lot of plugins here and there for integrations of stuff and for bringing in data to plugins. So
interesting.
It could be a duel of standards, and I've seen this duel before in the 20 years I've been on the internet, in that somebody introduces one standard, then another guy introduces another standard, and it's a duel to see which standard is adopted as the standard for the whole web. So,
yeah, I don't know if it's actually taken off. I mean, from what I've read about it, I kind of only vaguely understand it. OpenID I've seen before. I haven't had to use it yet.
Yeah. I think I've got an OpenID somewhere.
Like, I know the plugin requires me to get a WebID key, but it didn't tell me where or how.
It doesn't tell you how to do it. Say, go get this key, but we have no idea how to get it. That's really smart.
Yeah.
Well, send me the plugin.
Will do.
All right, next question you got there.
Well, I kind of don't need to ask these questions, because how often are these used and what are they generally used for? Well, we kind of covered that already, so I said I didn't really have any more that connected. But the next question after that is, do you know if there's a way to securely log in to an open Wi-Fi, like from a laptop?
Okay.
When my phone was broken, I realized I didn't even have my bloody watch on me. So I was going to the bus stop and I realized I had no way to tell the bloody time. I sat down at the bus stop and opened my laptop to check the time. And then I realized, hey, you know, I can't log on to the internet here because it's not secure. Got me thinking, is there a way to securely attach yourself to an open Wi-Fi? Like, I know that a good VPN would help a little on that idea, but I don't know if it would really help all the way.
Okay.
VHS and Betamax, Hemdian says.
That's what he's comparing the OpenID to the web ID. VHS versus Betamax fight. I remember that fight.
I don't even know what Betamax is.
You weren't old enough for Betamax. Betamax was a higher quality videotape and most amazing stuff. The problem is Sony, who owned Betamax, refused to license it to anyone.
Oh.
And VHS came out and they licensed it to everyone. So of course by licensing, everyone built VHS machines and Betamax got crushed.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's basically how it worked. But Betamax, I used to use those when I was in college because we had Betamax cameras, and the video quality was so amazing compared to VHS. VHS is such low quality.
Is Sony even still around?
Yep, Sony's still around.
Okay, I don't hear about them anymore.
No, well, no, they're still around. Who makes the Sony PlayStation?
I don't know games, so I don't pay attention.
PlayStation is right up there with Xbox and Nintendo. You got Sony, PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo. Those are the three top.
Can't hear you very well. You're talking away from the mic.
Oh, sorry. So anyway, you got Sony, Xbox, and Nintendo.
Okay.
Anyway, let's move on. Okay, back to your question about the Wi-Fi. Oh, logging into an open Wi-Fi is not recommended. It's very dangerous and hazardous if you have no idea where the Wi-Fi is coming from. I've used open Wi-Fis. A VPN does help protect you to some extent because you basically build a tunnel in there, which is harder to break into. Not impossible, but harder to break into. It's not recommended to log into an open Wi-Fi. If you use something around here, we've got the Shaw networks. That Wi-Fi is actually a secured Wi-Fi network.
But it's open. And
it's called Shaw Open, but the only way you can get onto it is by logging into it.
Okay. And once you're on there with everybody else, though, right?
You are and you aren't. It's confusing. It's like being in your house when everybody's logged into your network. All the people logged into my Wi-Fi network at home. They have to log on to my secured Wi-Fi. The main difference between open and secured Wi-Fi is open is usually not encrypted. Secured is encrypted.
Okay.
And that's usually the main difference in them.
Well, Shaw Wi-Fi isn't encrypted, is it?
Yes, it is. The Shaw Wi-Fi is encrypted.
Oh, I must have just signed in years ago then.
Yeah. Well, the thing is with it, you sign in once, and you're automatically signed in no matter where you find a node.
Okay.
That's why you don't have to always sign into it. And I was like, I've got one device I signed in on an account that's no longer in existence for Shaw, and it still logs into their networks because they don't remove passwords or accounts for some reason. And it's still secured. The VPN is always recommended when using a public Wi-Fi network because it gives you that extra ability of the tunnel you're creating in there.
Tunnel?
Because VPN is basically a tunnel in the internet.
Oh, I always thought of it more like a spider web.
No, it's a tunnel because you're basically, when you connect to a Wi-Fi network, you're connected to the nodes, which allows you to go anywhere. The tunnel, you connect to the VPN, it tunnels you directly to one server, which then connects you to the internet.
Oh, okay. Now I understand.
It's a tunnel. It's a tunnel through the mess. One of the ways I do it is I use a program called I can't remember what it's called now. Splashtop. I use Splashtop, and I'll log into a network somewhere, and then I'll log into Splashtop, which logs into my main machine, and that's a tunnel between my laptop and my main machine. My main machine is now my access to the internet.
Oh, cool.
And so basically, that's how VPNs work. Also, it's the same thing because it's basically a VPN. I've been using VPNs for years. I used to create my own VPN networks, but they got such a pain in the ass to maintain. I just went to using companies that provide them.
I've only just been learning about VPNs. I have a basic understanding of what they do.
Yep.
Okay. What about phones? Do they have firewalls like computers? Do you need to do a VPN on that to secure your phone? Are phones even securable?
The VPN is available for phones. You can get an app for your phones for a VPN. As far as firewalls go, I have no idea. I mean, I use an Apple phone, so I'm not protected from nothing. That's why I have nothing on my Apple phone that's of any importance, because it's not protected from squat. Because Apple has always tried to do their security through obscurity, and that nobody ever wanted to bother hacking them. But they managed to keep the stories about Apple hacks being buried.
Yeah.
So, yeah, as far as I know, phones don't have firewalls. I don't know. I've never explored down that path like computers do.
Well, I know that for phones, you can, if the person has their Bluetooth on, you can get right in there and take everything.
Oh, I know. That's why I have all my Bluetooth and everything else turned off on my phone.
Yeah, me too.
And the thing about Apple, though, is it still randomly turns my Bluetooth on for me, which pisses me off to no end.
Oh, they're trying to be helpful.
They're trying to be helpful, yes. It's like they were trying to be helpful and turn on the the new tracking app that came with the latest update for iPhone. It's like, no, turn that fucking thing off, man. I don't want anything tracking. I've got enough tracking.
I like my Samsung phone. It listens to me.
I'm getting closer and closer to buying myself a dumb phone and terminating my freaking my smartphone.
Hey, man, Androids are pretty awesome. You can really
I'm not even
configure
gonna
those.
I want a plain phone that does one thing. It makes phone calls. And that's it.
Fair enough.
I've really got to dig and see if I can dig up my old flip phone and see if it'll work.
See, I was thinking about doing that for myself, but then I realized I wouldn't be able to listen to my books and my podcasts all the time.
Well, that's where you have to go buy yourself a what they call them, the little iPods.
Those are expensive.
Yeah. I really like to have. I really wish I had bought the old-fashioned iPod, which is basically just a small square.
I had one for ages.
And they're quite fantastic little devices, so.
And they're like indestructible.
They're pretty much indestructible as long as you don't lose the original charging device, the charging plug-in for it, because they don't make those anymore. And yeah, they were really quite great, but that's a guaranteed off-the-grid listen to your books. You can download all because it would play it played books and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
So
I had a really fancy iPod, like one of the first fancy ones.
Mm-hmm.
I loved that thing. And then a kid I was babysitting played with it. He changed the pin and it was dead. You can't recover those things if you forget the pin.
Yep. And Hemdian is I have IPVanish VPN on both desktop and Android phones. So I guess VPNs do well. I knew the VPNs existed for phones. It's the firewall was the question. All right, well, that's pretty much it. We will call that a wrap. I think we'll run out with this great little extra song here. Where did it go? There it is. Off we go.
These are the days of thunder. We're gonna make time stand still. A quarter after midnight, and I'm watching the wall. Sometimes I feel so uptight, I just can't sleep at all. Every day doing the same old thing, we're losing time. The weekend comes, we gotta have some fun and rewind. These are the days of thunder. We're gonna make time stand still. We gotta feel the hunger, hanging over the edge just to taste the thrill. I feel the rope tightening, choking
That's all we got. Take care now. Bye-bye.
Take care.